Okay, today we're going to be making a sword for Sword Fight Club. We have 3/4 inch PVC pipe. It is cut to 4 feet 3 inches, which is about the average size of the average sword. We have pipe foam. We're going to cut that. First thing we need to do is mark off on the sword your grip and your blade. So take a hold of the sword, figure out about where you want to hold it, how much. You'll need to leave about this much off for a pommel, so that way you put a piece of foam right here so that no one gets hit or jabbed with straight PVC pipe. So figure about that much. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take a little bit, take permanent marker, mark off. This is the pommel, this is the grip, and this is the blade. Alright, what we've done here is we've taken a piece of PVC pipe insulation. We've cut it to the exact size. Actually, we've cut it about 2 inches off, as you'll see here. That way is actually to give you protection from if anyone were to hit the tip. That way you're not getting hit with exact PVC pipe here. What we're going to do is, once we've got it in place, we need to make sure these two lines are straight, because if they're turned like this, then it will show up in the final product. So make sure everything's completely straight. And it's just something you have to kind of eyeball. Kind of make sure everything's straight and a nice line. And once you've done that, and you're satisfied with how straight it is, that looks about right. You're going to remove the, if you have the sticker seal, which kind of just sticks on there for you, you can take the seal off and it stick right on there. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to break into the duct tape, because we are going to actually duct tape where this gap is directly, so the foam is directly taped to the PVC pipe. So just take a little bit of duct tape here. And once again, this is one of the things you have to eyeball. So just kind of take it, cut it, and you're going to keep this really firm. Really firm. So just kind of keep good tension on this so that no air bubbles show up in it. As best as possible. It's something that takes a little bit of practice. And now our foam is taped directly to the pipe, and you're going to do this up the shaft of the pipe. You can skip a space about that much. Duct tape here, skip a space, duct tape here, skip a space, duct tape here, and so on and so forth till you get to the end. Okay, so as you've seen, we've taped up the entire length of the blade as best as we can, keeping it as straight as we can. You'll notice there are some gaps. They will be filled, and you see this gap here. Now what we do with this gap here is, I like this gap. This gap allows duct tape to touch the foam and the blade at the same time, or the foam and the pipe at the same time, I'm sorry. That keeps the pipe, or the foam, from coming off the pipe in battle. So what you're going to need to do here is actually have a filler piece. A piece of foam that lays under there so that the exposed pipe isn't on the underside of the blade. So take your access pipe. Let's cut off the insulation foam. What we've done is we've cut it in half actually. And we're going to put the strip right here. We're going to take off the plastic stuff, and we're going to tape this onto the blade here, and we're going to cut a piece here and tape it on. So that'll give us one whole piece, and there will be no exposed PVC pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take off the sticky paper, and get it in place even and as best as I can. Now it's just sticky, so it's going to hold it in place while I grab a piece of duct tape. And snip a piece off. And then we're going to put a piece of duct tape right here. Secure it down at the bottom. And then what you can actually do is the area where there are gaps right here, you can put your duct tape where there are gaps in the duct tape. So that way, it gives an extra level of adhesiveness. Alright, as you see, we've placed the filler piece here that closes up the gap. We put duct tape over it to secure it. What we're going to do now is actually do the blade. What we've done here is we've actually taken a piece of PVC pipe that was pre-cut, and just on the opposite line here, we've cut it down the middle. This is actually going to be your blade. There's actually a very important rule that any area where the gap was cannot be a blade. So if the gap was here, where the patch is, you're going to have the blades on either side of it, but it's not actually going to be the blade itself. So what you're going to do is need to take one of the sides, line it up right, take off the little sticky paper, and try to get it as even as possible in the middle. Get the blade as even as possible. And once it's nice and even, sometimes you might have to redo it a few times. Once it's nice and even, you're going to want to tape it in place. Start by taping both ends, and then do spaced sections until you reach the middle.